Hey guys, this is kind of a short introduction. I really love doing these videos because as for being on YouTube for 16 years of my life, I barely see any horror stories or scary stories or just stories in general from Native American content creators. So I would really love to change that aspect and tell stories you guys have never heard of before, because it's very important to preserve history and especially stories from tribes. This one comes from my tribe and many other tribes throughout America. The Thunderbird is a mystical creature that is said to be the dominating force of all natural activity. Located in the Pacific Northwestern Mountains, the Thunderbird creates booms of thunder by flapping his wings and shoots bolts of lightning from his eyes when hunters got too close to his home. By creating rainstorms, he waters the earth, making it possible for vegetations to grow. He is said to be so large that his wingspan is as large as 2 canoes, and that he could easily carry a killer whale out of the water with his talons. Only the most powerful and successful chiefs and families used the Thunderbird in their crest. He resembles the eagle, but is distinguished by 2 carved horns or plumage on his head. Long ago, Northwest Coast people pleaded to the Thunderbird for help in times of food shortage, and he helped, but in return requests that from then on he only be depicted at the top of a totem pole with his wings stretched out. That is the reason that the Thunderbird appears at the top of so many Northwest Coast totem poles. And sadly, the Thunderbird beliefs cannot be fully expressed to outsiders. In part, this is because non-native people lack the necessary perspective to grasp the information. Here are 3 stories by Luke Hobucket, and these stories you've never heard about the perspective of the Thunderbird. And this first one is called Thunderbird Fights Mimlos Whale. There was a great flood at that time. Thunderbird fought with Mimlos Whale. The battle lasted a long time. For a long time the battle was undecided. Thunderbird in the air could not whip Mimlos Whale in the water. Thunderbird would seize Mimlos Whale in his talons, try to carry Mimlos Whale to his nest in the mountains. Mimlos Whale would get away. Again, Thunderbird would seize him. Again, Mimlos Whale would escape. The battle between them was terrible. The noise that Thunderbird made when he flapped his wings shook the mountains. They stripped the timber there. They tore the trees out by their roots. Then the Mimlos Whale got away. Again, Thunderbird caught Mimlos Whale. Again, they fought a terrible battle. In another place, all the trees there were torn out by their roots. Again, Mimlos Whale escaped, and many times they fought. Thus, each time Thunderbird caught Mimlos Whale, there was a terrible battle, and all the trees in that place were uprooted. At last, Mimlos Whale would escape to the deep ocean, and Thunderbird would give up the fight. That is why the killer whale still lives in the ocean today. In those places where Thunderbird and Mimlos Whale fought, to this day, no tree grow Those places are the prairies on the Olympic Peninsula today. Thunderbird causes a flood. Thunderbird was very angry one time. He caused the ocean to rise. When the water began covering things, the Quiutes got into their boats. The water rose for 4 days. They rose until the very tops of the mountains were covered with water. The Quiutes in their boats sailed wherever the wind's currents carried them. They had no way to direct themselves. There was no sun. There was no land. For 4 days the water receded. But now the people were much scattered. When they reached land, some of the people were at Aho, so they lived there from that time on. Others landed at Chimacum and stayed there. Only a few succeeded in finding their way back to Quiute.